What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Black Liturgy. I bring you another video on this game Black Deck. So I want to talk to you guys because I'm recording this a little bit early before this artifact upgrade event starts, right? But since I don't see any tournaments going on, let's go ahead and get into today's topic of discussion. So I wanted to talk to you guys about various different things or various different abilities to beat, right? So one of the most annoying things to deal with, or two of the most annoying things to deal with, and we'll talk about both, are shield and protection. So shield, if you don't know, let's find a card with shield. It negates the first time it's being hit, right? So if I was to attack a card with shield on it, it will not take that damage the first time, okay? Protection, right, keeps your other cards from being hit directly. Now they can still get hit if your opponent uses a card that hits more than one card at once, like a Goblin Chieftain or a Goblin Exterminator. You can still end up losing those cards in battle from that one attack just based on those reasons, right? So, but it does give you a chance to avoid damage when dealing with single hit cards, right? Cards that only hit one target, like a Cripple, or it only hits one target, or a Djinn that only hits one target, right? But without going too far and down the rabbit hole of different cards that have it, let's talk about the ways to beat it. Now, for protection, there is a way to beat it, right? So let's go to the artifacts real quick. And for protection, and you will see it in the description of this artifact if you haven't already seen it before. I'm just trying to find it. Here we go. It's focus, right? And when you click on that yellow word focus, it says cards with focus ignores restrictive abilities like protection and stealth. Stealth is another defensive ability. It allows your card to say, nah, you can't choose me as an attack target, right? Protection is a similar thing, but that card itself says, nah, you can't attack my homeboys, directly. You got to go through me first, then you can hit them. So that's what protection does, right? Serene gets around that. So Serene allows you the ability to say, screw that, I'm going to attack whoever I want. Now, there are cards that does have that ability. So if we go to the Desert faction, and we'll look at all the serpents that are here, all of them have a focus ability. I'm pretty sure there's other cards that I can't remember at the moment that does have it, but all the snakes from the Desert faction has this ability, right? They have a focus ability. So that is honestly the only way outside of having a multi-hitter to get around stealth. Now, this other ability that we want to talk about is shield, right? And you need something called piercing. Now, there's an artifact set that does it. I want to say there's two. I want to say there is two, but I know for sure there's one. Actually, there's two. So you have the unveiling set. Not this one. This one. Here we go. Which grants piercing. Cards with piercing bypasses defensive abilities like shield and evasion when dealing damage. Right? Evasion does help you say, oh no, you have a chance to avoid damage. And then you have the Savage set, which also grants piercing. Right? So you have those two sets that offer the same thing. The only difference is Savage set does not grant a strength boost, and the Unveiling set offers a strength boost, right? So that's the difference between the two. But there are cards that offer a Savage or piercing ability within this kit. So I want to say this card has it. Yep. Goblin Assassin is one of those cards that has it. As you can see here, you'll notice the piercing ability with the arrow, right? If I go to all and select Djinn, Jin has it, but Jin grants it to another ally up to 6 times when it's maxed out, right? So you have ways to get around cards that have shield. Having piercing on a card that hits multiple times does help you get around those cards a lot easier, right? Or you get around multiple cards at once. So since Goblin Rifleman hits a column or 2 cards at once, but it has to be in a row, kind of like this line. Oops, like that. It has to be like that in order for Goblin Rifleman to hit it, or any of the dragons to hit, right? They have to be in a row. And then you have cards like, again, Goblin Exterminator and Curse Puppet, who can hit multiple targets at random. They don't, you will hit 4 different cards out of the 6 that's on board with a piercing ability, whether it's through a shields through a set or through an innate ability. You can hit multiple cards like that as well and grant that piercing ability to get past those shields. So those are the ways that you are primarily looking for to get around shield and protection. With that being said, I'm going to end this video right here. I'm on a goal. We're on a goal to try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of July. If we can get 1,000 subscribers by the end of July, I will start streaming on YouTube and maybe one other platform like Twitch. But don't forget to share this video, like, comment, subscribe, holla back at your boy. Peace.